I want to share this video clip with you right now. It's a window into the future. It's a clip of the first turning point event since Charlie Kirk's murder. Vice President JD Vance was invited, and one of the students gets up and asks the vice president a loaded fake question about Israel and the war in Gaza. And just watch, because this is a sneak preview of what's to come. Check this out.
I'm a Christian man, and I'm just confused why that there's this notion that we might have owe Israel something, or that they're our greatest ally, or that we have to support this multi-hundred-billion-dollar foreign aid package to Israel to cover this, to quote Charlie Kirk, ethnic cleansing in Gaza. I'm just confused why this idea has come around, considering the fact that not only does their religion not agree with ours, but also openly supports the prosecution of ours.
Yeah, so let me say a few things about this. First of all, when the President of the United States says America first, that means that he pursues the interests of Americans first. That is our entire foreign policy. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to have alliances, that you're not going to work with other countries from time to time. And that is what the president believes, is that Israel, sometimes they have similar interests to the United States and we're going to work with them in that case. Sometimes they don't have similar interests to the United States. And this example, the most recent Gaza peace plan that all of us have been working on very hard for the past few weeks, the president of the United States could only get that peace deal done by actually being willing to apply leverage to the state of Israel.
All right. Let me tell you, there are so many things that are troubling about that video. It's only a minute, but it's a window into the future of America. It sounds like the vice president saying that Israel isn't manipulating this president, saying that, I don't know, other presidents maybe, but not this one. And that's not great. But also, JD Vance doesn't outright clarify that Israel is not ethnically cleansing Gaza, that there was no genocide in Gaza. If Israel wanted to commit genocide, it would have flattened Gaza on October 8th. Instead, Israel lost over almost 1,000 soldiers while doing targeted attacks, dropping notifications that all so-called non-Hamas civilians would leave the area. Israel bled to ensure that only Hamas fighters and leaders would be targeted. And the student said that the Jews in Israel are persecuting Christians. That wasn't pushed back by the vice president either. Israel is the only country in the Middle East that the Christian population is actually growing, the only one. Jews and Christians may have theological differences, but Jews don't want to kill all of the Christian so-called infidel as a part of the Islamic jihad. I mean, to look at the world and see millions of people calling for the death of the Saturday people and then the death of the Sunday people, and then blame the Jews for persecuting Christians is ludicrous. The fact that the vice president doesn't call out the lies against Israel and the Jewish people, it's really troublesome. But here's the thing that I really want to point out more than anything else. It wasn't the ridiculous question or the fact that the vice president didn't address the false accusations that really struck me. It was the thunderous applause after the question attacking Israel from the audience. I mean, I would have expected people to boo that kind of loaded anti-Israel question, but instead, the entire theater of thousands of young conservatives, they were American, and they cheered and applauded that question. And so the time is coming very soon that people who stand with Israel will have to tap into their inner Abraham, into their inner Hebrew, their inner Ivri, and be willing to stand on the other side against the entire theater applauding. And I want to just show you the next clip. It's really troublesome. I saw this clip by Tucker Carlson, one of the most popular podcasts in America, and he rips into Christians who love Israel. See this for yourself.
How do you explain Mike Huckabee, Ted Cruz, and there are a lot like that, John Bolton. I mean, I've known them all, George W. Bush, like Karl Rove. I mean, all people I know personally who I've seen like be seized by this brain virus, and they're not Jewish. Most of them are self-described Christians, and then the Christian Zionists who are, well, Christian Zionists. Like, what is that?
Right.
And I can just say for myself, I dislike them more than anybody. Because like what? Because it's Christian heresy, and I'm offended by that as a Christian.
So one of the most influential media personalities in America, whose son works as the deputy press secretary for Vice President Vance, is saying that he despises Christian Zionists more than anyone else. He hates Christian lovers of Israel more than Islamic terrorists, more than the woke left or Antifa criminals burning down American cities. Why does he hate Christian Zionists so much? I mean, if you believe that God has a future with his people Israel and his promise to give the land of Israel to the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is everlasting, and that you should bless the Jewish people instead of cursing them, you're hated more than any other people on the planet? What is going on? This is by one of the most popular media personalities in America. And so, friends, we are in the midst of a spiritual war. And in this war, Israel is destined to stand alone. That's Israel's destiny. And if you thought Israel would be able to hide in the conservative movement or the Republican Party, you'll see that both from the soon-to-be mayor of New York, Mamdani, and the woke left with him, and now the new woke right in the Republican Party, the Jewish people will be singled out and Israel will be left alone, just like Abraham. And the stage is being set for Israel to stand with the righteous among the nations in a showdown that is no less glorious than David against Goliath, where the odds are stacked up against us, and then the truth that God runs the world, the Bible is everlasting and true, will finally be revealed. And that's the reason Abraham is first called an Ivri, the man who stands alone on the other side, because it started that way with him, and it will end that way with us.